Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noifa binti Azmi. Our group have choose a topic about cybersecurity threat among higher educational students. So next, I will tell about our content for this presentation. The content are introduction, cybersecurity threat, prevention and cybersecurity tips for students, law and acts, and lastly, conclusion. Firstly, I will talk about introduction. So first, higher education is vulnerable to cybersecurity for several reasons, such as often have a large network with many different types of devices and systems connected to institutions, including computer, server online learning platform. Security problem plug higher education, cybersecurity threats such as a computer virus, malware attack, phishing attack, and data breach. University can raise security awareness by provide training and education to students. When using smartphone apps and social media, faculty and students disclose personal data such as their name, contact information, location, and interests. They utilize the internet and social media heavily for communication, research, and other academic and personal activity. So as a student, they are vulnerable to online threat due to their lack of experience and knowledge about how to protect themselves online.
Assalamualaikum, and my name is Siti Anira binti Bolin, and I will present two types of cybersecurity threat, which is phishing attack and computer virus. So first, I will present about phishing attack. So what is phishing attack? So phishing attack is when someone send you an email that trying to get you to reveal your information, your private information. For example, like your bank account number, your bank online password, or your social security number. So this email may even containing a link that will lead you to a fake website. That website will actually like the real website. So that's how the scammer will trick the user to click on the link. For example, your bank Islam account, the scammer will change the I lowercase to L lowercase. So when the user not really aware about the link, this actually will trick them to click on the link without getting any suspicious about the link. So this is how the scammer will get the user information, because so when the user log in into the fake website, this is where the scammer will get access to all the information about the user. So this is how phishing attack happen through email. Next, I will present about the causes of phishing attack. So first is because of the lack of security training and lack of awareness among students. So this is basically happen when students basically unaware of the risk associated with the online activity that leave them vulnerable to the phishing attack. In addition, there are still many universities that have lack of resources and knowledge about how to protect their students from phishing attack, and this will leaving the student exposed to this phishing attack. Next is grade offer. So it basically work when the scammer send a link that can help the user to download any kind of video file or MP3 that they cannot download for free. So this is how this grade offer works. It tricks the user to use the link to download any type of file or video that they want for free without getting any charge. Moving to the next part, I will explain what is the effect of phishing attack. So first is financial loss. This is happen when the scammer can get access to our online banking through the information that they stole from us when we log into the fake account. So our identity also will be installed by this scammer. And next is if on exam answer. So we have to highlight here, student also can become a phishing attacker. This is happen when the student desperately want to get full mark on the exam, or they want to solve the answer to their friend, or they want to get extra point on quiz. So this is how this tip on exam answer happen. Next is loss of personal information. For example, our username, password, and card number. And lastly is spread of false information. So it's basically work when the student who gets scammed without getting know share the link to their other friend. So this is basically how this false information happen. Moving to the next part, I will present about the second cybersecurity threat, which is computer virus. So what is computer virus? So computer virus is a piece of program code that has been designed to copy itself to computer code or computer file. Virus can then destroy our data and program or otherwise disrupt the function of our computer or our computer network. So basically, viruses are designed to rapidly copy itself from one computer to another computer. So next, I will present about what is the causes of computer virus. So first, increasing use of computer and digital device. So basically, since students have to finish their assignment using computer and other digital device, this is how this activity of using the online sources become more often. This is because the student require to finish their assignment with finding more resources or information through online sources. So basically, students do not know if the website that they open actually containing a virus. So this is basically how it's happened. Students may actually do not know that the website that they visit actually containing virus, and the file, for example, that they download to use it as a reference actually containing virus. So this is basically how it causes this computer virus to transfer to our computer through this file that has been downloaded. This is also happened because of the lack of knowledge about the virus. Knowledge about information. There are still many people, not only students, do not know about what is computer virus. So this is basically how they will get affected without getting know they actually get affected by the virus that they get from the online sources. Next is because the students are unaware and do not understand about the tool that been provided to them. So they just basically download the antivirus without actually getting know how to use it. So they actually think that when they install that antivirus inside their computer, it will automatically protect them from a computer virus, but actually that is not how it works. So this is what happened when the students do not know how to use it properly. In addition, there are still many tools, antivirus tools that require us to pay for it to use it. So that also the causes of computer virus. Next is pirate software. Pirate software is something that has been duplicated and distributed without authorization. So this practice will put user at risk contracting with virus or other malware. Next is I will explain about the effect of computer virus. So first is it will bring wreak havoc on the computer. So what is wreak havoc? Something that will bring chaos to the computer system. Next is our work on our computer. So this is basically when all the virus actually has been spread all through our computer. It will affect on all the file inside our computer. Next is data corruption. Data corruption happen when we using our computer but there is suddenly error happen, or we suddenly cannot type, or there is suddenly pop out on our computer, and it also make our computer or our computer system crash. So this is how bad this computer virus can be. It also will affect on our confidential information, and the most bad thing that will happen on our computer is that it will decrease the performance of our computer system. So this is how bad this computer virus can happen when it has been spread through all over our computer. So this is how important for us to know how to protect our computer from this virus. So knowledge is very important. So I think that's all from me. I give it to the next person to present the next type of cybersecurity threat. Thank you.
My name is Nur Aisyah Sofia binti Azamat and I will be presenting about malware. What is malware? Malware is basically a short form for malicious software. That any software that intentionally designed to cause a disruption to the computer user's data, computer network, and computer server, leak private information, and gain unauthorized access to information that unknowingly will cause a disruption and interferes with the computer's users' privacy and security. Malware is most probably the most significant concern for the internet users since 1968. There are three types of malware, which is spyware, computer virus, and computer swirl. Spyware is any software that installs itself without permission and covertly monitoring the user online activity without permission. Spyware secretly gathers data about a person or organization and will relay the data to the hackers, which is the third party. And keyloggers is one of the most common kind of spyware that monitors and records users' keystrokes. Hackers can steal credentials and as well as their credit card number and other data that may be entered into a system through typing. A virus is a specific type of malware that self-replicates itself by inserting its code into users' other programs, and a virus infects other programs or files and encrypt, corrupt, delete, or move their files to other location. Meanwhile, worms is a type of malware that self-replicates itself and infects other computers while remaining active on infected system. It can self-replicate itself without human activation from one computer to another computer. Typically, computer worms spread across network or internet such as LAN, which is local area network. What are the causes of malware? First of all is financial gain. A hacker will steal the victim's personal information data and require them to pay a huge amount of money, usually in bitcoins, and to get their access back to the system because the hacker have locked them to gain the access to the system, and they have to pay a huge amount of money to gain their access to the system, and this is also called as ransomware, or or basically the hacker will usually sell the victim information to the other parties. Next is gathering private network access. Hackers simply search through billions of IP addresses for a weak and vulnerable IP address. By doing so, they have the access to the victim's IP address and they can hide themselves behind the victim IP address and carry on with the malicious action. And this technique will make use of the victim's wireless network or their weak IP address to execute the malicious action in a way that the links the assaults back to the user IP address and not the hacker itself. Collect sensitive data. Personal data such as personally identifiable information or PII such as social security numbers, banking information, and login credentials are mainly the target of cyber attacks. User is at risk of sensitive data exposure, and the data collected can lead to the identity theft, sold in underground markets, or just basically to torment a specific individual. What are the effects of malware? Which is in this scope, we will focus on the student itself. First of all is jeopardize the academic career, which is usually the victim or the student itself didn't aware of the side of the malware attack on their computer or system, and they will only notice it if only they are corrupted file or move file and any lost file on the devices. So the risk of assignment loss or damage is high. So they have to redo it again as the first one, and most likely it doesn't turn out to be as good as the first one, and most likely they will spend countless of hours to fix the problem and receive the assignment again. Next is a privacy. A higher education student have several digital assets at their disposal, such as their image, their audio, and their video. And moreover, their personal information such as their login credential, credit card information, and social media account will be stolen. And this is because they tend to forget their credit card and bank account, so they will write it on notes to store it there and will look it again to avoid forgetting about it. And when hackers have gained the access to the system, they will easily gain this information and hack the account, and most likely this social media account, because nowadays social media account have the features that don't forget, which is the login credentials such as their email and their password will still remain in their login pages, so it will easily gained by the hackers, and the hackers will easily log in the social media account, and will lead to the identity theft. Next, data breach. A data breach is an incident where information is stolen or taken from system without the knowledge or authorization of the system's owner. By using a login and password combination that has been stolen, and by matching the verified biographical information such as the name, the address, the gender, marital status, and date of birth. Data breach can be caused by extensive use of Internet of Things devices or IoT devices and mobile devices. The risk of losing privacy and data transmitted through IoT devices. IoT devices connected to the desktop or laptop while the data is being transmitted or collected from the IoT devices itself. And IoT enabled devices such as rentable laptops, tablets, and other equipments are always monitored, and the risk of data leak is very high. And IoT devices make increase the data privacy issues and security threats. Next is mobile devices. Integration into academic life using the internet for learning and research is advantageous, but data breaches occur when the personally identifiable information or PII of thousands may be stolen and used for fraudulent purpose. This is because mobile devices used by students to store their sensitive personal data are often stolen or lost. The apps and data stored on their mobile devices can be accessed with just a simple password. These are the effects of data breach to a student. First, will interfere with the student's schoolwork. Second is vulnerable to identity theft. And third is put student at risk. First is interfere with their schoolwork. A data breach make it difficult for students to focus on their studies, and if their personal data have been leaked or stolen or compromised, they can spend a great deal of time and energy trying to deal with the aftermath of a data breach. Next is vulnerable to the identity theft. Data breach can lead to identity theft and other types of fraud. By the data could be used by hackers to gain access to students' social media accounts. Finally, put students at risk when it will expose the student to physical danger, and hackers who have access to the student record could use the information to target them and harm them in some way.
So, the first step of prevention from cyber attack among higher education students is that we need to update software regularly. Because why? It is required to maintain the functionality of our computers, including the mobile device, tablet, and so on. It may reduce the security bugs too, because all of us know that nowadays cyber criminals always create a strategy for stealing our information through the online platform, accessing network, but software update can prevent all of this. Since applying software update can sometimes take a few times, I think all of us mostly always tend to avoid them. That is why software update is one of the best way to protect our data. Next, we can prevent the cyber attack by spending money on a very good antivirus. Because all of us know that the virus protection is very important for everyone, especially for us, a college student who want to protect our data and our computer system. So this antivirus software will also scan our system for the virus. And if our virus software find a virus or another malicious file, it will prevent it from running and move it to the quarantine folder. And then from there, it will automatically delete all the files and give us the option whether to do so, or even the detection is false. And I believe that there are so many antivirus software outside there, including First One, Norton Antivirus, McAfee, and many more. Following that, as an online user, including us as a student, we should never share our personal details through online, because it's so dangerous. I know that we all aware that how tempting to talk about ourselves through the online platform by using social media, but however, we must be cautious about what we are shared about ourselves, and what we expose to the internet, the user, in a public way. Therefore, we should avoid revealing such as our home address, phone number, and any legal information in our online platform, particularly in our social media account, because this information can be used by any cybercriminal to derive other offensive details such as our date of birth and the city that we which grow up, and what is the popular securities question for the bank account, and any another details about our personal info. Therefore, we should never publicly reveal our personal information, without first learning how it will be used and how it will be protected to ensure its safety. So, other than that, we must also avoid any unsecured website in order to prevent the cyber attack. So, multiple phishing websites are created by the identity thief and can seriously disrupt our software. As a result, do not never click on a strange link. Even most important, do not download anything from such website, unsecure website. There are so many individuals believe that they are safe if they are not downloaded anything from the internet. However, unfortunately, this is not even true. Although most of the attack began when the internet user take action in mistakenly or unintentionally, sometimes it can happen without the user's awareness or any concern. This is very dangerous. So the last one is we must ensure that our email account is secure and private. There are something that I believe that most of us know about it, which is something we can do, including in order to protect our email, including use the password manager, avoid suspicious link, avoid using public Wi-Fi, and most importantly use VPN if you have, because VPN also known as a virtual private network. It can keep our family, ourselves, as well as prevent the hackers from accessing into our email accounts. We all know that email account, we use that email account every day, and this is very important on how we need to prevent that account. Next, in this part, I'm going to elaborate a bit about there is one act in Malaysia that related to our topic, which is about the Personal Data Protection Act 2010, also known as PDPA 2010. So this act is implemented on 15 November 2013 and consists of 7 principles, including the general notice, choice, disclosure, retention, security, access, and data integrity principles. So the effect from this act is the data user must ensure that the data processor protect personal data from loss, abuse, modification, alteration, or even destruction. However, there are also challenges in this act, which is also the business required to be refined to comply with the PDPA requirement.
Lastly, I will talk about conclusion about this topic. Future workers are strong internet users in higher education as the use of internet and digital technology is becoming increasingly in institutions have adopted online learning platform and resources. So social engineering, phishing attack, computer virus, and malware and data breach are continual concern in higher education. Due to COVID-19 outbreak, all students need online learning. Hence, phishing assault will provide a fake link to click on, and this has created new challenges for the student. So it can be the potential concern in increased risk of phishing attacks. Colleges are not aggressively teaching students how to avoid identity theft and ransomware. So it is important for them to know and protect against identity theft and ransomware. A computer virus installed, it could program and apps to proliferate that can be spread from one device or computer to another. So this is why the important to know in cybersecurity in this technology era.